there are situations where there's abuse. There's situations where it's unsafe. We've told couples, this is not healthy. It is not safe for you.
Yes.
You need to leave. It's not safe. We have encouraged couples at times intentional separation for a season with the intent for restoration.
When we've got to witness restoration and reconciliation in marriages, I think that it starts with humility. When a wife or a husband finally stops taking the microscope off of their spouse, asking God, in the middle of us figuring out restoration, what do you want to do in me?
Planted things have life, buried things die. And I think when the couple has a shift that, okay, we are planted in this marriage, and they may feel like we're buried right now, may feel like we're under right now. It's dark, it's lonely, but it's not over.
We're back on Parenting the Now Generation. I had to ask Javier and Shannan to stick around for one more conversation. We've been talking about marriages and being attacked and raising kids in a world where they know everything. But I'm really interested, guys, you talk a lot about hope, that there's always hope in a marriage. And you ask the question, what do you do when a marriage feels dead? So I just want to simply put it out there. Is there always hope? Have you ever come across a marriage where you say, you know what, it's better for you two to call it quits? And have you always been able to sort of turn it from dead to alive through your boot camps?
Yeah, I love that there's nothing that we can do to make that happen with a couple. There's nothing that we can say that can make that happen with a couple. We can provide everything in terms of we do. They can lean into everything in terms of support, help, counseling, therapy, all of that. But the reason why we say there is hope is because we believe there is when two individuals make a decision that they're going to move past their brokenness, their woundedness, their hurts, their pride, and be able to truly see the other person and come back to a place where they recognize, why were we married in the beginning, in the first place? Mm-hmm. What is a true reason and purpose behind our marriage? See, because the reason you're married should be greater than anything you would ever face. So if your reason for marriage was God, to reflect and image Him to a world around you, then that is greater than anything you will ever face. And so if we can come back to the beginning, to how they started, and bring couples back to that, they begin to see that. But the thing is, only God can do that work. Like, we can't do it. Nobody can do it. And they have to be willing to come to that table and do it. So we have seen couples who have gone through multiple affairs, who have had loss, who have gone through things that everybody would say, like, I'm done. They've grown silent. They're not connecting. From the outside looking in, it's like, you can go. And even biblically, you could go. But there's something that shifts and changes when they recognize, but I made this covenant and there's no back door for me in that. They made a decision that there is no back door. Yeah. And so we have seen couples who have walked into restoration who have not lost hope. And I believe that now there are situations where there's abuse. There's situations where it's unsafe. Thinking. And I want to make sure that we're not condoning that, we've told couples, this is not healthy. It is not safe for you. Yes. You need to leave. Yeah. Yes. It's not safe. We have encouraged couples at times intentional separation for a season with the intent for restoration, because both couples have to work on each other individually and not to rescue the marriage. Because here's the thing. You probably need to have a new marriage with the same person. So take that old marriage out, take it out back, shoot it. You need a new marriage with the same person. And that's often when we find situations where there's been an affair, there's been major issues within the marriage. Like, you're going to build a new marriage because nobody wants this one. Mm-hmm. And when the husband starts going to his wife and saying, well, I just want to save our marriage, because he finally has woken up. He's been head in the sand, passive and apathetic. Now he's awake because she filed divorce papers. Yeah,
but she doesn't want that marriage.
She doesn't want that marriage.
That marriage destroyed her emotionally. Yeah. So there's probably still love there. She loves her husband, but she's like, this marriage no longer is fruitful. There's, I don't like using the word happy, because marriage was not made for our happiness. It's made for our holiness, and it is to reflect and image God. I believe when we've got to witness restoration and reconciliation in marriages, I think that it starts with humility. And what do I mean by that? Is that when a wife or a husband finally stops taking the microscope off of their spouse, This is what they need to do. This is what they need to fix. And when they get this right, when they stop looking at porn and when they
Then I
stop doing
will.
that and they start doing this and they start doing that, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready to jump back into this marriage. God is going, are you serious, child, right now? There is so much work for you to be doing, even though you weren't the person who went out and had an affair. I get that. That's not I'm not saying that you own that or that's your responsibility, because it's not. It's not what that spouse did. But asking God, in the middle of us figuring out restoration, what do you want to do in me? What are you asking of me?
Yeah.
What are some things in my life that are hidden in the dark that you want to expose to the light? Where have I been greedy? Where have I been selfish? Where have I not shown up? Where can I be a better light to my kids, to my family, to my husband?
Yeah.
How can I show him grace
Yeah.
and forgiveness in this season? But we typically, those spouses don't do that because they're just sitting on the sidelines,
Waiting.
twiddling their fingers, going, I'm just waiting
Yeah.
for them to get their healing and restoration so we can get back on track.
Well, even that, just saying, so when they, then I will, right?
Yes.
When they
Yeah.
do X, Y, and Z, then I will go ahead and respond in a certain way and take that wall down, or begin to take that wall down.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like when a spouse builds a wall, the only person that can take that down is them.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you can continue to try if you're the other spouse, but they have to do that work also. You know, as we've worked with couples, and what we see consistently is just this place where even with husbands, like, well, yeah, okay, well, I changed and I'm doing this. It's been 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks that you've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
changing. But 5 years of hurt and 5
Asking.
years of being emotionally disconnected, and the wife feeling emotionally abandoned within marriage is devastating.
Oh.
Right? It's painful in a divorce and she's alone, but to be alone in the marriage is
Javier,
devastating to a woman.
My dad used to always tell us, and he is very much, you know, you guys get up, grow up, and do well, and get married, and that's when your life starts. But he'd always say, but no marriage is better than a marriage where you're lonely. Being lonely in marriage is like a death.
Absolutely.
Especially
Absolutely.
if you're of the mindset of you're committed and you're in it till you literally, you know, till the end of days.
We believe that, and then here's the thing: is I think people have this perspective, oh, my marriage is dead. Like there's nothing that can change or shift. And I think what begins to happen when a couple recognizes, like, no, there is hope, and even if it's just a tiny seed that can get planted. And the problem is couples give up a little bit too early in that.
Yes.
And so we say often, like, when a seed is planted in the ground, it's underground. It doesn't feel good. It's dark. It's getting trampled on. There's manure being thrown on top of it.
And you don't see a lot of change because you can't see
and you
it.
don't feel like you see a lot of change. But that seed that was planted to bring hopefully healing and restoration needs to stay in that place in order for there to be a harvest. And so there's something that's taking place. There's something that's happening. And then that seed finally comes through. But see, planted things have life. Buried things die. And so, and I think when the couple has a shift that, okay, we are planted in this marriage, and they may feel like we're buried right now, may feel like we're under right now. It does. It's dark. It's lonely, but it's not over. It's not over. Like, we're going to allow God to water that, to do the work that needs to happen for us to be able to break through and experience something beautiful that's new, that we haven't had. That's that new marriage. But you got to stay planted. You got to stay, and you got to do the work. That's why we say there's hope for every marriage, because you stay and you do the work. And it's ownership. It's laying down. It's not a pointing of fingers. Like Shannan said, if marriage is a mirror, then you have to sit there and say, how is this reflecting back at me the ways that I haven't shown up, the ways that I haven't been present? It's much easier to blame the other person and project upon them as opposed to say, I own this. Marriage is about growth, period. Marriage is meant to grow you, to stretch you, and you have to take ownership that wherever your marriage is today, you brought it there. You brought it there. Nobody else but you. And that's hard for people to take and to own.
Yeah.
You brought it here. Actions, choices, decisions, thoughts, you brought it here. No one forced you. Your spouse cannot force you to feel a certain way. You choose your emotions, your feelings, and your responses. You choose them. And so that's why we say when people fight and recognize that we can't do this, but God can, but God, but God, but God, that he is able to heal and to restore and bring dead things back to life.
Yeah.
We have seen it, but it is hard. It could be painful, but I'm telling you, on the other side of it, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
If you're listening and you're thinking, I'm going through the hardest season of my life, I lost something unimaginable, or I look at my spouse and I don't feel anything, I don't feel like or love or even hate. I feel nothing. It feels dead. I don't want to be with them. I don't want to talk to them. Whatever the feelings are that you're dealing with, or deep hurt, you mentioned infidelity, or, there are situations that we see where, spouses have stolen from the family. They have gambling addictions that they've hidden, that they've left families with nothing. Kids, college tuitions are gone. I mean, there's a lot of things that families deal with. The fact that you are saying that there is hope, and not just saying it, and this is why it's so important and why I was so excited to have you, you actually have a roadmap. And so we encourage everybody to reach out to you, follow you on Instagram. There's all the ways they can learn about you, follow you, go to one of your boot camps, take one of your courses. Do this for the sake of your marriage, for the sake of your children. We're parenting the now generation. Our kids are going through a lot, and I think it is incumbent on us to give them every good opportunity for health and value and success and faith and hope and love. And yes, I agree with you. If you're in a dangerous situation, if you're being abused in any way, nobody is saying stick around for that. But if it is a matter of dealing with normal things that happen in life, as difficult as they are, there is always hope for your marriage. You talk about bridging, getting over that valley. You talk about, through your discussions and coursework, going to bed angry, and when how to actually deal with it, real things. You're ready to kill your spouse, but you'll tell us how to deal with that. There's so many things, and especially what I love that you guys do a great job talking about is gender roles, the role of the husband and the wife, and all of this. So for everybody listening, if you're not following 24/7, you got to do it now. Like, that's the first thing you've got to do. And then I can't wait to have my husband take one of your classes. I'll be taking them as well, because it starts with me, but I'd love for him to do it too. And you all are the best. You're such a blessing in my life. I feel like you're a blessing in my girls' lives. They're not married. They're not near marriage at all. But thank you for what you're doing. You're planting seeds that are desperately needed right now.
Thank you so much, Rania.
Yeah, an absolute honor to be.
This was so fun.
Yeah, no, it was an honor to be with you.
Welcome. We would be open to coming back anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will be hearing from me. And I hope everybody listening is going to be in touch with you too. For everybody listening, thank you so much for joining Parenting the Now Generation. We will see you next time. Take care, everybody.